Tell me, do you bleed? You will. Alright, that was awful. That's an awful way to start a review video, but that's what I got. That's what I'm going with. And what's up, everybody? Jay Shockblast here, and as you see in the title, and as you can guess, looking at these guys right here, it is Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice. And we saw the movie today. By we, I mean I. And I am going to give you my opinion. So, there's really a couple things I want to talk about before we get into the movie itself. Number one, I think I'm pretty much on record as saying the trailers were awful. They were not very good. It really took until the last time we saw a trailer before there was actually a decent trailer that got me moderately excited for the movie. And there's a reason for it. I want to say I went in with an open mind, and obviously you can see the score I'm giving it in the title. There's going to be lots of spoilers here, so if you haven't seen the movie yet, please, 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 please wait until you have. I rushed out to see it right away. That way I could personally avoid spoilers. I did a really good job of it, and I went in with a completely open mind. That's really the biggest thing that I want to establish, is that I wanted to like this movie, and the best way I could put it is I did not dislike this movie. I just didn't like the movie. Alright? So it's not like complete hot garbage like the Fantastic Four, but it is not in any way, shape, or form on the level of like it's Iron Man 3. Like, that's what I would say it is. It's maybe Iron Man 3. Like, I mean, it's just a lot of questionable decisions, a lot of confusing, you know, situations that I don't understand. I don't know why. I think the biggest thing that I left with, having seen this movie, is just asking the question, why? You're establishing your new Justice League cinematic universe, and this is what you went with. There's literally so many things, so many ways, just so much that you can do to really start up a Justice League type movie. And I'm just completely confused as to why this is the direction that they went with. I think there were some really good ideas. I don't understand the need, you know, and there's a huge build-up for Batman fighting Superman, and it happens. It definitely happens, but, like, it's just so weird. Like, the scene that... There's, like, this weird, like, I don't know when Bruce Wayne became clairvoyant, but he has, like, these weird dreams where he sees the future, and we see, like, Ezra Miller somewhat as the Flash, you know, show up and saying, we were right about him, and he's talking about Superman, and Superman basically is like the god of the world, and it very, very much reminds me of Injustice, but it really just doesn't make sense. Like, you know, Bruce Wayne seeing the future, like, he's got this awful infatuation with hating Superman, and like, I can't put my finger on it. And then there's Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor. Awful. Just awful portrayal of Lex Luthor. I don't know if it's supposed to be Lex's son, if that's what it is. Because he did keep saying, my dad, this was my dad's. So, and it does say Alexander Luthor. So, if that's the case, it didn't do a good job of explaining he was Lex Luthor's son and not, you know, Lex himself. They do shave his head at the end of the movie, so it may be Lex. I honestly have no idea. He kept referencing his father. I don't remember enough about Lex Luthor to know if he was a Donald Trump type, you know, where he inherited money from his dad and had his own empire. But, like, Donald Trump is a great example of what I kind of expect from a Lex Luthor. That type of person, you know? Not a weird, eccentric, you know, kid, basically. And I don't know what they were really going for there. It really doesn't make sense. He somehow knows all this Kryptonian stuff and is able to interface himself with some of the crashed ships. They waste way too much time introducing the story. Like, we did not need to see another Bruce Wayne origin story. I know that they did it, like, over the course of the first, like, 5 or 6 minutes, and they dipped back to it a couple times. But, like, we didn't need to see that. Can't you just assume that we all know, okay, Bruce Wayne's parents died in a horrible action, or in a horrible murder? Like, we know that. Can't we just assume that we know that, you know? Like, I don't know why we had to go through that again. And I don't know. Like, I would have rather seen an origin story for Lex, you know? Like, how does Lex get to be how he is? Like, how is he able to interface himself with a Kryptonian, you know, ship? You know, I know that he slices off fingerprints from Zod, but like how does he know he can do all this? And, you know, obviously once he's, you know, interfaced with the ship, you know, he can learn all the stuff about them and everything. And I just, so many questionable decisions, but like at the same time, there's some really good stuff that happens. Like, you know, we get our introduction to Wonder Woman, Gal Gadot, and she did a good job. Like, honestly, I really felt like she did a good job. They kind of did a good job of kind of showing her as, you know, a wealthy princess, you know, as Diana Prince mostly, kind of walking around doing her thing. You know, Lex has a picture of her from way back in time that kind of would show off that, hey, you know, this woman looks like she's 25 and she's like 100 and probably a couple hundred years old. But, you know, anyway, you know, Wonder Woman, you know, her appearance is pretty cool. They also kind of give us our first sneak peek of a few other characters. We get to see Ezra Miller as the Flash. Now, part of it we see in his, like, kind of clairvoyant scene with, you know, where Bruce Wayne is kind of sleeping, and then we also see him in a scene at a grocery store that Lex Luthor has files on Wonder Woman, the Flash, Aquaman, and Cyborg, which is kind of weird. He also gives them their logos apparently, because he had logos drawn for them, and you know, we do see our first kind of glimpse of Ezra Miller as the Flash. We see, you know, Ray Fisher as Cyborg. And then, of course, we see Jason Momoa as Aquaman. Now, honestly, as far as I'm concerned, Aquaman was the star of the movie. The clip that they showed for Ezra Miller, all right, it's basically Ezra Miller standing at a gas station store, and essentially he's like trying to get milk, and he stops a robbery. You know, that's what we basically see out of him. And then, you know, Cyborg, they show him kind of getting put together. And then Aquaman, they just kind of show a camera kind of get really close to him underwater. And you kind of get a glimpse of Atlantis. And he kind of chases him off, but he looks awesome in the process. So, but, you know, those are not the characters that we are totally concerned about. This is, after all, you know, Batman versus Superman, Dawn of Justice. So, you know, I don't know. Like, I don't hate this movie. That's the weird thing. Like, it's very boring at times. Like, just honestly, I almost thought about walking out, but I made myself sit through it. The second half of the movie is where a lot of the action is. Basically, the reason Batman and Superman are fighting is because Lex Luthor has decreed it, basically. He's trying to get Superman to kill Batman and bring him his head. And, you know, essentially, I don't know, it's like weird. Like, everybody figures everything out of nowhere, you know? Like, Superman knows that Batman is Bruce Wayne. You know, Bruce Wayne, or, you know, Clark, Lex Luthor knows that, you know, Superman is Clark. He abducts Lois Lane and Martha Kent. And then, you know, Superman comes down when he goes to fight Batman, and he's trying not to. Like, he knows what's going on at this point, but Batman doesn't. So you kind of hate Batman a little bit because, you know, he's got the right intentions. Like, you understand what he stands for. He's trying to make sure the Earth is protected, but he just doesn't have all the facts. It's such a hard review to do because, like, I don't know. There's something missing. There's a lot missing. This is not the story I would have gone with. And then, of course, you know, somehow Zod gets, like, morphed into Doomsday. And that's our big boss battle at the end. I mean, I know that was pretty much known. You know, where is he? There we go. You know, that Doomsday ends up being, you know, the big bad guy, and he looks like this big, ugly Ninja Turtle. Like Warner Brothers, you know, had to reuse the assets or something. I think they did a decent job, though, of, like, making him look proportionate, you know, look bigger. In the end, he does, quote-unquote, kill Superman. But even that is just so weird, you know? Like, I'll get into that more in a moment. But, like, I know I'm bouncing around a lot. I wrote some notes, and I tried to keep it, like, in order. But, like, I feel like you have to, like... I can't do this review any other way. Because they bounce a lot in the movie, too. Like, 1 minute we're in the present, the next we're in the future. You know, there's teasers for Darkseid, you know, in Batman or Bruce Wayne's kind of clairvoyant dream, where he's, you know, seeing the future. That's where you see in the commercial where, you know, Superman has Batman captured, and he kind of, like, comes down, and there's all the Superman guards and everything. It's just, I don't know, it's a mess. You see the big Omega sign in that scene, though, and all of the little minions that I can't think what they're called right now, but all the little, like, insect minions that Darkseid has at his disposal. Actually, aren't there some of them in? Oh, there's Clark. I don't remember if there's any of them here. I don't think there are. No. I don't know. I don't remember what they're called, but I think everybody needs to see it and judge it for themselves. I can't imagine the people that are walking out of this movie, like, gushing about it and raving about it. I would not listen to them for a second. And the people that are coming out of this movie saying, "Oh, this is awful," you know, it's such a bad movie, you know, 3 out of 10. I wouldn't listen to them either. Like, this is not a great... There's no way this is a great movie. Like, at all. It's just not a great movie. It's an okay movie. It's a bad movie that wants to be good. Like, that's the best way I can describe it. It's a bad movie that wants to be good. And it's just not. But it's not bad. It's not awful. Like, I don't know. Like, it could have been so much more. This is absolutely not the direction I personally would have gone with starting off the Justice League. The Avengers laugh at them. I mean, like, the Avengers is how you do it right, and, you know, Justice League is how you do it wrong, you know? Like, they really didn't need to jump right to this. I know that they've kind of established at the end of the movie when Superman is buried and dies, because, you know, Doomsday is the one that kills him. Again, I don't know why we're going right to that, but we did. You know, when they're burying Superman, you know, Bruce Wayne and Diana Prince are in Smallville, Kansas at the funeral, and they're talking about getting the rest together. You know, what is it, Unite the Nine? Is that what they say? And because there's going to be a war, you know, like, just in case, or, you know, they're gonna fight. They're gonna have to. So, like, I just don't... I'm frustrated by the movie. Like, I'm frustrated because it could have been so good, and I wanted it to be so good, and I wanted to like it. I didn't want to be one of those people that was like, oh, this is so bad, you know, it's such an awful movie, you know, and I can't say that, you know, like, it's not an awful movie at all. It's just really hard to like it, you know, like, there's just so many weird things that happen, like, you know, it seems like Batman is a new concept to everybody, yet Bruce Wayne keeps talking to Alfred and saying, oh, you know, it's been 20 years of Batman, you know, and we see Robin was a thing at some point and he died, you know, or whatever. His costume is kind of, you know, in the case and everything with all the painting over it, you know, and we've got the illusion of the Joker, you know, with the comment of, you know, I'm tired of clowns in clowns in costumes or whatever. I don't remember exactly what he said, but like it seems like we've been doing this with Batman for so long, but then like all the newspapers cover it like he's something new, you know, like they've never heard of this before. Like, there's just so many things that are coming to me that I don't understand why they went that direction. I would not have told the story this way. I would not have started off the franchise this way. I mean, there's too much Man of Steel stuff in there. Like, okay, we saw Man of Steel. You're allowed to assume we know what happened in Man of Steel. You know, you don't have to spend so much time. I just felt like there was this huge scene where, you know, Bruce Wayne is driving through the city. Like, I didn't need to see all that, you know? Like, I guess they did establish, you know, one character who ends up in a wheelchair, and you guys can just see that at the movie. You know, they did use it to establish that, but like, I don't know. I really would not have gone this direction. I think it's a wasted opportunity. You only get to kind of kick off the kind of big star, like, you know, group movie once, and I don't know. I can't give it a passing grade. I just can't, you know? And Suicide Squad is supposed to exist in the same universe. Like, I don't know what timeline they're on. I don't get it. Like, they don't have their things together. Like, DC's TV universe makes sense, but their movie universe is just a cluster of uffs, you know? Like, it's just not a good start, and I think that's why I'm frustrated the most. You know, why, you know, I'm giving it 6 out of 10. I thought about giving it a 7, like, I really did, but for me, 5 is average, and it's just barely above average. Like, it's just not good, but it's not bad, you know? Like, it's, and it shouldn't be like that. It's Superman and it's Batman. Like, literally 2 of the top 3 to 5 characters in all of comics. You know, you could argue that Batman's number 1, you know? I don't like the path they've chosen. I think I've said that enough times at this point. I definitely encourage you guys to see it and have an opinion of your own. Batfleck wasn't bad. I mean, I didn't mind him as Bruce Wayne anyway. As Batman himself, you know, a lot of the fighting scenes, which I don't even know if are really him, were really not that good. But they were serviceable. One question I do have is, why is Superman killing... not Superman. Why is Batman killing everybody? Literally kills at least 30 people in this movie, if not more than that. And that's in the future, that's in the present. That's just like, whoa, what? Batman doesn't kill. That's like one of his big things. He just doesn't do it, you know? No after credit scene. Don't waste your time. I don't know, man. Like, I just can't. I'm frustrated by this movie. That's the best thing I can say. The action stuff at the end of the movie was entertaining. Entertaining enough. I would say like once it hits its stride in the second half of the movie, it's not awful. You know, they did an okay job. It's just not enough, you know? Like, this is a bad start to the franchise. It could have been so much better. The franchise, as they're establishing it, I don't like it. I just don't like the direction. I just don't. It doesn't make sense. It's just not a good direction to go. I don't understand, like, why do we have to have Superman dead in a box already? You know, like, we're gonna do the whole resurrection thing that quickly. I don't buy it. I think it's some bad decision making, but it's not my decision to make. I can just sit here and say what I think about it, and that is that, you know. So I hope you guys do go see it and have an opinion of your own. Like I said, you know, I'm just one person with an opinion, and I really, like I said, wanted to like it. I don't hate it. I don't love it. Could have been better. TT could have done a better job of letting us create our own screenshots. Like, I don't want them, like, I want them to both face the camera, you know. But anyway, let me know what you guys think, what you guys thought of the movie. I hope you waited to watch it, watch my video until after you saw it, because I don't like spoilers myself, and I really feel like you owe it to yourself to see the movie and have your own opinion and not have anything. Like, they really want to turn their back. I don't get it. Like, I want them both to be looking at the camera, and it doesn't. Anyway, I'm going off on a rail. So let me know what you guys think of the movie if you saw it, and I hope you guys enjoyed my review. I'm sorry I'm all over the place. I have notes, and I completely went off track. Oh, you know, there's a lot of cameos too. Like, obviously they use some real news people like Anderson Cooper and Solabat O'Brien. Neil deGrasse Tyson makes an appearance. Jeff Morgan was Bruce Wayne's father. He's going to be Negan in The Walking Dead, amongst his many other roles. But yeah, that's what we got. I just looked at my notes and realized these are things that I meant to work in. But hey, man, hope you all enjoyed, and we will catch you later. Let me know when you see it, and let me know what you thought. All right. Bye.